Okay, so if you're over on Instagram, you can head over to Facebook if you want to see the full presentation on today's workshop. But let's jump in and get started because I am excited to talk about postpartum depression. I feel it's not talked about enough. So let's jump in. I want to welcome you and welcome all the mamas who are here watching live with me or the recording. And I'll go. Okay, hopefully Instagram will still keep going. It's saying my connection is kind of poor. Anyways, jump over to Facebook if you can't hear me fully. But yes, I want to jump into this workshop that I created because I was that mom who struggled with postpartum depression. And it was not fun. If you are in this place currently, you are right where you need to be. I know that may sound crazy, but you're going to experience things in this stage of life that you're meant to experience, because I truly believe I had to go through what I went through in order to be on this journey that I'm on now. It's crazy. I'm a few minutes in and I'm already getting emotional, but you can tell how impactful this was on my life. And for me now to be doing this work and as a coach, it has changed everything for me. And I know the clients that have now been a part of this business that I'm running, they have seen so much growth in it. So I know there's a reason why I meant to share this, but I want to dive into the piece around shifting our perspectives and finding strength. We know that in this work, we can't shift those perspectives and find that strength when we are still in the trenches or in the gutter, whatever analogy you want to use. We can't crawl out of it because we are still in it and we are still so stuck in it. We are closed off to anything that is going to come into our awareness and help us along this path. So it's not simple, or it's not easy, but it's simple, is opening your mindset to allow the things in that are going to help pull you out. Or it's this workshop that you're literally sitting here watching right now. It's then the step that something inspired you to register for my workshop, which is going to be the next trigger or something that is going to propel you and pull you out of this. If that makes any sense at all, because I know that's what happened for me. With all of that being said, I'm still on the title page, so I'm going to dive in because there is so much that we have to talk about today, and there are some big topics that I want to get through. We'll explore the power of a positive mindset and how that can help us navigate through postpartum depression. Because ultimately, when we can do that, we emerge as a stronger human. We are better moms, we are better wives, we are better daughters, friends. We are a better human when we can emerge from something as, I don't like the word hard, because going through this, it's not hard. It just feels gross at the time. But you know you're meant to experience it because you're going to be a better person when you can get out of it. But it's getting out of it that I feel most need help with, because I couldn't get out of it by myself. But I want to make sure that you have your workbook printed. I don't want to forget this step. workbook printed and ready to go, because here we will go through, and this is where the work just comes out of like sitting in our conscious mind and actually takes action into our life. So if you don't have your workbook yet, make sure to register for this event and you will get the workbook emailed to you. But before I get off on all these different tangents, because this work is honestly so impactful and such a passion of mine, it is so easy for me to talk about it. That's why I love this work. It doesn't feel like work. And yeah, anyways, let's dive in. So here are some topics that we're going to go through. We're going to go through the intro and actually dive deeper into understanding what postpartum depression is and how it can completely take over in our whole lives, right? And the power of mindset and self-image, the way that we can shift our mindset and grow into that self-image, how we can build a mama tribe, because that is so important to have that support, and how we can dive deeper into ourselves. Introduction. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chelsea Dinner, and I am a holistic health, mindset, and motherhood coach. And I'm a fellow mama, like I said, who experienced this transformative power of shifting my mindset. But before we dive in, I want to acknowledge the challenges that many mamas face during this postpartum period. And honestly, I had to redefine what postpartum was for me, because in my head, I thought postpartum was only the first 3 months after you have a baby. And that is not true at all. So for you, postpartum is whatever you believe it is. If you want to believe it's the first 3 months, if you want to believe it's the first 2 years, I have often heard that it's 7 years before your mind, body, everything actually goes back to what normal might kind of be after you have a baby, which is crazy. 7 years. That kind of blew my mind when I first heard that. But it can honestly be a roller coaster of emotions. For some, it may manifest into full-blown postpartum depression and then go into depression if it has gone this long, because that's exactly what happened for me. I kept saying postpartum depression, but I'm like, I have a 2-year-old, and then I had another new baby, and it was that just rolled into another whole stage of postpartum depression. And it was just, anyways, if you want to hear my full story, it's somewhere. I have it linked up somewhere for you. But honestly, here's the good news. Our mindset and our self-image play a significant role in the journey towards healing and reclaiming our joy. So today we're going to explore all of the strategies and the ways that we can shift our mindset and navigate through postpartum depression with grace and strength. Stick with me if you're like, what the hell is she talking about? There is no grace and strength going on, okay? Stick with me. Let's understand postpartum depression, okay? Postpartum depression is more common than you may think. It happens to, I don't even want to put a number on it because that is not important. It happens to a lot of moms. And you can also sit in this denial stage, because I remember that, of I don't have postpartum depression. Postpartum depression's for moms who didn't prepare for birth. And it's I did all the preparing. It doesn't matter. Honestly, be conscious and be aware of the thoughts that you are having when these things come up. Don't be that first to jump and label yourself as something, because I was a very long time before I even realized this is what was happening to me and what I was experiencing. But you need to realize that it affects many mothers worldwide. It doesn't matter where you live, it's worldwide. And it is essential to recognize the signs and understand that it is not a reflection of your abilities as a mom. Let's just get that out there. It does not reflect the abilities that you have as a mom. It can temporarily, because you're not the mom that you want to be. You're not the person that your child needs for you to show up, depending on your severity of it. But if you're experiencing any kind of, I don't even want to call them symptoms, because it makes you feel like you're ill, and you're not. Like, you're just living life, and this is what is kind of coming up for you. But we know it as, it is kind of a feeling of a persistent sadness, some may describe it as, anxiety, frustration, anger, a loss of interest in your favorite activities that you once enjoyed. And for me, honestly, it came as sadness first, and then anger and frustration, because I was so mad that I couldn't get the things done that I wanted to get done. So it was just expectation on expectation on expectation. And that was not helping at all. But it is honestly crucial for you to get whatever kind of help that it is that you need, or talk to a friend, or please reach out to me. If you are honestly watching this, I wish I would have had this kind of support, even if you don't know me. Somebody who's been through this is going to be able to serve you or support you. And honestly, you know who you can reach out to. There's lots of mom friends that are going to be like, oh, yeah, it really sucks. I'm in that too. We don't necessarily need to reach out to those ones. We are meant to like come together and support each other, but we're meant to seek support where we know someone is going to be able to guide us. I saw the therapist. I'm not saying therapy doesn't work, but it didn't necessarily work for me. It kept me back here in the past of like childhood stuff. And it's like, well, that wasn't serving me in this stage of life, right? It wasn't until I got help from my good friend and coach, and I was able to get out of this with using things and different stuff within myself. Instead of a therapist is like something outside of you telling you and guiding you what you could do next or whatever. This was, okay, I recognize this is going on. This belief is coming up. This paradigm, and if you don't know what a paradigm is, it's your habits and your beliefs. And I recognized all of that stuff coming up. And then I was able to flip what I was currently experiencing, and then flip it to what I actually wanted it to be. And again, on another tangent, but I know what I have to say is so freaking important that is why I am here. This is why I'm teaching. This is why I'm putting this out there, because someone needs to hear this. You are not alone on this journey. You have so many people to help you. You have to accept the help. That is key. You have to accept the help or acknowledge that, hey, I need help. So a little bit more about my story, if I haven't already dove into it enough. I experienced this with my first two babies, and I did not know how I was going to get out of it. I feel that the first time I became a mom, it lasted a ridiculously long time because I had no idea what I was doing. Let's just be honest there, right? And it honestly went from postpartum depression or like anxiety, I don't know, and then went into full-blown depression. I did not like the person I was. I did not like my life. I was often very angry and upset at my husband. I resented my baby because he didn't nap during the day, which is ridiculous. There is just so much that was going on there. and I was in such a low place at that time. I couldn't even think past an hour in that day or the next day. I couldn't even think past, couldn't time block, couldn't schedule, couldn't do any, like everything felt overwhelming to me. And if I am speaking to exactly what you're experiencing right now or what you have experienced, please reach out, because there is so much power in talking about what we're going through and being able to actually like dissect what it is that's coming up for us and then seeing how we can move forward. Because that was what changed everything for me, is I had to first lay it all out, which doesn't feel good, but you have to do it, of this is my belief, this is how I feel about this. And it's all of these like bullshit stories that we've told ourselves our entire lives that's now just coming up because we had this rebirthing process when we became a mom. And I'm not meaning to talk about this so bluntly, but it needs to be brought up in such a way that it like wakes you the heck up and realize that there's more to life here. There is more to what it is that you're meant to do. You're not meant to just be a mom and be a crappy mom at that. Like, we're meant to thrive. And I did not understand this until I started doing this work. So for jumping back in, like I said, you can see all the professionals, and that's exactly what I did. But it wasn't until I started realizing and recognizing the thoughts I was having, myself, my like inner self-talk, the stuff that was going on inside my head that I thought was a big worry or a big problem, but it actually wasn't. It was something that was so small, and realizing that I wasn't going to be able to change this until I started diving into like my awareness and growing that awareness and journaling on when things would come up. And I couldn't do this by myself. Trust me, I tried and I couldn't. And it wasn't until I dove into this mindset program that focused on changing my self-image, my habits, like I said, those paradigms. If it's a new word for you, stick around, because we're going to be talking about it. My beliefs, I had to dissect my beliefs on what this was for me and what it was defining me as a mom. This didn't define my capabilities of being a mom. It was defining my entire life. And finally, there was something that I had to focus on by saying yes to joining the 6-month mindset course with a coach for that accountability, because I knew I couldn't do this on my own. It gave me something to focus on. The work had to come from within me, not from someone or something outside of me. It had to come from within me. And that was like key for me. I had to find what truly inspired and excited me. Because up until that point, changing a crappy diaper and being at home with my son was amazing in hindsight, of like looking at like, yeah, everyone wants to be off on mat leave, getting paid at home with a baby. But it was like, I wasn't able to be in service. This is what I realized as I came back to figuring out what this meant for me. I had to be inspired and excited about something. I needed to find my purpose. Even though I had no idea what that was, I needed to find what I was put on this earth to do. And as a result of being immersed into this material and doing this work and studying it, not just reading it, studying it, I was able to find what I was put on this earth to do. I was at that purpose. I was able to find my purpose. And that is helping mamas find joy in their own lives. And whatever that is, whatever that means to you, right? Is we are meant to live joyful lives. We are meant to thrive. But yet we go through life being frustrated with our children and not doing what we love and hating going to work. Like it just, there's so many things here, right? And now that this is my work and it doesn't ever feel like work, it's crazy. But I want to shift our focus to the incredible power of mindset mixed with a positive self-image. Our mindset will shape our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions. And it can either keep us stuck, like how I was feeling. And if you're tuning into this, this is exactly how you're feeling or how you have felt. Or it can propel us forward. So our thoughts, beliefs, and actions either keep us stuck in this place, which doesn't feel good because I know you've been there, or by changing our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, it will propel us forward. It will guide us on this path that we're meant to move forward on. So by forming a positive self-image and a resilient mindset, we can navigate through the challenges and find the light amidst the darkness. Find the light. It's those little tiny things that we don't currently see, that we are not grateful for, that we can find the light in the dark. And today we're going to explore the practical ways to harness this power, because this is so important that we actually have to take what we have learned now, and how are we going to move that forward? How are we going to take that next step in what it is that we're meant to do? So there are so many ways to shift our mindset, but the first ones that I'm going to focus on is that self-compassion and acceptance. That is huge. Reframing our negative thoughts. So taking out any bit of negative and switching it to a positive. And cultivating our gratitude and mindfulness. So let's first talk about self-compassion and acceptance. So I want you to embrace self-compassion and practice self-care without guilt. How many times have we gone to do something as a mom with littles, or maybe you have teenagers, and we have felt guilty to go and do the thing that in the moment is going to bring us joy? How many times has that happened? Because I know for me, it happened every time I left the house without my children. Until I realized my self-care means more to me than being guilty about leaving the house. So I had to redefine what self-compassion was and understand what self-care actually meant to me. Because for a lot of moms, self-care looks like getting a massage, getting your nails done, getting your hair done. And that's great because in the moment it's making you feel better. But you have to ask yourself, is that sustainable? Am I getting my hair done by somebody else every single day? Am I getting my nails painted every single day? No. So where are the pieces of joy that are coming in every single day when you're not going to do those things? Like, this stuff is important to feel pretty. Like, I get it. But you have to find what is the practical self-care. Because this is where you can create that person you want to be through your imagination and see how she does everything. So this is self-image. Because what brings you joy that you could do today to practice this? And I want you to write it in the comments or in the chat. What is one thing you could do today that is going to bring you joy? Okay. Then I want you to accept that it is okay to ask for help. You deserve that support. This is huge. This pretty much is most moms. We think we can do everything because we need to be some kind of superhero. That is not actually important. Like, it's important, but we don't need to do everything. Do what needs to get done, and then delegate some of the stuff that you don't love. Does that make sense? And find a way to figure it out financially. Like, I had a house cleaner even though we couldn't afford it. By looking at our bank account, we couldn't afford it. But it was like, that was one stress, because the chaos and the overwhelm of like crap everywhere in my house was not worth it for me to not have a clean house. So I found a way to have a house cleaner, even though everything on paper was telling us we couldn't afford it. But it was finding a way that, like, come for an hour every 2 weeks or whatever. Just clean the bathrooms this day, clean this, like, find what works so you could reduce stress off of your plate. Because this was a big one for me. I wanted to clean house. I hated cleaning the house, but I needed to find a way to make that work. So we think that we don't need help or support, which is actually totally wrong. You need to ask for help, and you cannot do it all. So I want you to release the pressure of perfection and focus on your progress instead. So go back to the house, right? Your house doesn't have to be perfectly clean or tidy, but focus on the habit of tidying a few things that are kind of like in your path. So if you go out this room or down the stairs to the kitchen, clean what is in your path right then and there, or that little tiny piece of counter so that you have a place to make a meal. Start small, because when we take on all of these things, when we're in this mindset of I can't do anything or I have to do it all, find what's going to work for you and start small. That is what I have found within myself and so many other people who've experienced this that I have talked to, is you have to start with small little things that are going to move you forward to realize, okay, I can tackle a whole room now. I feel confident that I could do that. Even if it takes you a week or 2 weeks or a month, find what is going to work right now. Like, honestly, for me, I started with like a junk drawer, one drawer in my kitchen that gave me the confidence and the enjoyment out of now opening that drawer, and it was so clean and everything was in there in a neat order, and I could find what I was looking for when I went in there. One drawer. So what is that one drawer for you if you need to start taking that one step forward? So reframing our negative thoughts. First, we need to identify the negative thought patterns and challenge their validity. Tongue twister. So ask yourself, is this thought serving me? It's like, if you have that negative thought about something, that you're not good enough, you're a horrible mom, whatever, blah, 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 whatever thoughts are currently coming in, is this thought serving me? And if you're like, nope, it's not, then you have the ability to change it. So if the thought was, I'm a horrible mom, what is the opposite of that? I'm an incredible mom. And even though you don't believe it, keep telling yourself that. Make that thought, I'm an incredible mom, louder than I am a terrible mom. Make it louder. Put it on a post-it everywhere in your house. I'm an incredible mom. Say it to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say it to yourself every single day, multiple times a day. You have to keep doing it in order to grow your belief that you are an incredible mom. Because I know you are. You just have to understand that you are. You are, but you just don't believe or understand it yet. And then replace your negative thoughts. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Replace your negative thoughts with positive affirmations and empowering beliefs. So what I just said, write out an affirmation that is a complete opposite to what you believe about yourself. And honestly, it's so simple. It's so simple to change our thoughts, but it takes the practice of actually doing it when that thought pops in and not believing from opinions of others, our own beliefs and habits that we are stuck in, to not believe that that's actually true when we know it's not. And then I want you to practice reframing to shift your perspective and open up to new possibilities. So open up your mind. You're going to get these little nudges, or somebody's going to reach out to you and say, hey, how are you? And you're not going to be completely honest with them of how you actually are. Be mindful of who this person is and if you can open up to them or not. But maybe you're hiding all of these feelings and bottling them all up. We're not meant to do that. We're meant to share it and talk about what we're going through, because by you doing that, you're going to impact somebody else to then either help you or for them to be like, hey, I experienced that too. And then have a deeper connection and a deeper conversation with someone. So it's in the habit of practicing that reframing. So changing up that negative thought and putting it out there that you want this new habit or thought to be formed. It takes consistency though. And that is why working with a coach or having an accountability partner is going to be the biggest reason, because you have someone that is holding you accountable, that is there showing up for you even when you don't want to. Cultivating gratitude and mindfulness. So embracing gratitude by reflecting on the small joys and wins each day. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Is in order to pull yourself out of nobody does anything for me, life sucks, like just every little thing that keeps you in that victim mindset, is in those moments you're not expressing gratitude. You're not expressing the gratitude for the little things in order for the big things to come to you. If you can't be grateful for somebody texting you or dropping off a coffee or whatever, I'm just trying to think of small things, right? You're not grateful for that, or that $10 that showed up or you found in your pocket. You're not grateful for that, then you cannot be grateful for the big things, or the big things just don't even come because you're not in the right mindset or the energy to receive them. Or maybe it's your son or daughter says, I love you, mommy. Like, how does that not warm your heart. And it's in the process of not focusing on, yeah, but they did 50 other things today that pissed me off. But focus on, they showed you love. And that's huge because you're practicing showing yourself love. And if you don't have the love, you can't give it to them. But obviously, in some way, you practice love and your child actually expressed that to you. Practice mindfulness to stay present and cultivate your inner peace. What the heck does that mean? So being mindful that we need to stay present in everything that we do and cultivating our inner peace. So finding what is inside of you that brings you joy or brings a sense of calm. So for me, everything is chaos inside if the house or my environment is chaos. It's like, I now know this. So when I'm feeling that, like, I'm so overwhelmed, I know that I need to start decluttering or cleaning a space or tidying up, because if the space around me is clean, then my mind is more clear. Through this work, obviously, has been a huge game changer for me in understanding when things are coming in my mind that don't actually make sense or that aren't actually true. So then a big one is incorporating gratitude and mindfulness practices into your daily routine. So for me, this is showing up every single morning on our study club. And study club is not what it sounds like. It is an incredible opportunity for us to come together as like-minded moms and women, and we study something, some type of material, a book, a webinar, podcast, whatever it is, or a program if we've come into this work with a program, and we study it, and then we all talk about it. And we all are there and accountable and supporting of that person for what's coming up for them. Because it might bring up crap for you that you have to release. And that's okay. Because you have this incredible judgment-free zone that you're able to bring it up. So you have to incorporate something every single day, or incorporate something multiple times a day if you really need these extra nudges. Set alarms in your phone. What am I grateful for in this moment? And then 100% before you go to bed is now you get the opportunity to, what was I grateful for in my day? What went really well? And then what didn't go very well? And then in that process, you get to set the intention for your next day. So when you're going to bed tonight, set your intention for tomorrow of how you want it to feel. For me, is mornings are chaos up until yesterday. So now I have calm mornings. I am productive and I get everything done that I say I'm going to do. That is my intention for most days. There's usually an action step in there as well of like, I am going to do this. Usually it's something that I procrastinate on that I don't love doing. Okay, that is your little homework. If you're going to take anything out of this, it is doing this. It is doing something every single day. If you could grow 1% every single day for an entire year, that is 365%. That would be a game changer. Building a mama tribe. This is so fun and amazing because you get to connect with like-minded people, right? And through this process, you're going to find people that are experiencing what you're experiencing. There is going to be they can resonate with what you're saying. They may have felt a lot of the same things that you're feeling. And you'll want you to surround yourself with a supportive network, because this is essential for our healing. And I know this because I was able to do that. I was able to create this network of people in this incredible community that I studied with every morning, and I still do. And now there's thousands that have been added in since I started. But a big thing was get out of the house, reconnect with yourself in Mother Nature, because it all starts with us first before we can bring on other people or whatever. Seek out support, find groups that you feel welcome, connected, you feel loved. They're going to be online, they're going to be in person. Go to different ones and see what feels good for you. And connect with fellow moms, people that you already know, like, and trust, that already are going to understand what you're going through. And find moms that have similar interests. So maybe you love going outside for walks because that brings a sense of calm to your chaotic mind. So then go out and be in nature more. Find a mom who wants to go for a walk. Find somebody who wants to do things, or even just come over for a cup of tea or coffee. Do small self-care routines every single day. So first, define what self-care is for you. That's a big one, because usually it's way more than just going out and getting my nails done or going and doing my hair, right? Like, it's way more than that. And then talk to other moms. You have to understand who they are and what their story is before you can really dive deeper into, okay, they did experience something similar to what I experienced, right? And I was able to find this when I was going through it, and it was incredible. And now we are still amazing friends, and our kids get along. And it's amazing that I was able to find this through this work. And study and grow yourself every single day. And maybe you don't know what that really means yet, because study, we think like, going back to school. No, we're not going back to school. We're studying ourselves. School does not teach us a single thing about ourselves. So you can do this by journaling. You can create an affirmation that's personal to you and how you want to feel, and start affirming that every single day. And remember that together, we can uplift and empower more people. By yourself, you can do a lot, but together is like this analogy of hooking multiple batteries together. One battery, yeah, it can do things, but hooking multiple batteries together, like the energy and the frequency that is created between all of those things coming together, right? Of like people. That's why I love in-person events, and we're having a retreat just to do this, which is amazing. I have a beautiful community of mamas who have come together, like I said, every day, and we study ourselves and we share what we are putting into action for that day. Because there is a reason why when you study, something is going to jump out at you. And then what are we meant to do with it? It jumped out at you for a reason, but then what are we meant to actually like do with that information? Because we've got lots of stuff sitting in our conscious mind. But the only way to get it to our subconscious mind, which and then turns things subconscious into the body, which then gives us that ability to put something into action or take action on something that we need to do to move ourselves forward. Because no one can do this for us. We have to. Just like we can relate so much of this back to how we birthed our baby. Even if you had a C-section, you still had to do something to bring that baby to life, to bring that baby into this world. And if you birth that baby, there is so much to that we can relate to what this is all about, right? So this is where you will get the accountability, is coming together with like-minded people that want to grow as well, because there's lots of people that just want to stay stuck. But those people and hanging around those people are not going to be what we could bring forward, right? Like I said, it's a judgment-free zone. And this is honestly where my life completely changed. So let's dive deeper into you, because this is super important. So I have a list here of things that I would love for you to do. Pick one, pick all five, whatever it is, I want you to take action on something. That is the next domino that we're meant to kind of put forward, right? Does that make sense? There is something that we're meant, so it's like, okay, we got inspired to come and join this workshop. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this information? That is the key to reading something and then studying something, studying what you read. There is a big difference in that, and it is meant to take this information that we're learning and take it out of our subconscious mind and to bring it into our subconscious mind. So we're meant to do something that is going to move us forward. That is the biggest thing, and that is what got me out of that crappy, stuck feeling that I was in that victim mindset of, this is hard, right? So as we conclude in today's workshop, I want to remind you that postpartum depression does not define you as a mother. But by embracing a positive mindset, practicing self-compassion, and helping to seek this support, you can overcome these challenges and step into your power as a radiant mama. Because I know that you are powerful and that you are a brilliant, beautiful, radiant mama. You are strong and capable and deserving of this joy and happiness. Like I said, we are meant to thrive. We are meant to live an abundant life. Abundant as in every area of our life is meant to be abundant. Our health, our relationships, our money, our career, our kids, like everything in our life is meant to be abundant. We're not meant to feel like we're struggling. We're not meant to make everything feel hard, because it's not. It's not actually hard. It's the story we're telling ourselves. And just for you coming to today's workshop, I want you to book a call with me. And even if we literally just sit and chat, there is something that you are meant to get out of our call, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I am meant to get something out of this call. But regardless, put your phone over, scan it, screenshot it, whatever you need to do, follow or highlight the link and send it in. Yeah, here, I'm just trying to think of how I can put this. Anyways, I'll figure it out on Instagram. Just DM me if you're on Instagram and you're like, I want to book a call. If you enjoyed today's workshop and you are like, hey, I want to dive deeper, there is just something that she talked about that I need to learn. Because we have talked about a lot of the power of our thoughts and how powerful they truly are, because that is defining our entire life, is what we are thinking about, and how important our self-image is. So I want to welcome you to the Mastering Motherhood course. And this is the amazing course that I created. We are all starting on November 6th, where I will walk you through a laid out course with all of this information in it, and obviously so much more. It is a 3-month course, so you will be diving into much deeper than this. There, we will come up with what are your thoughts, the paradigms and habits and your beliefs that are coming in and hijacking you. That's ultimately what they're doing, right? Our paradigm is kind of like this other piece of us that's controlling the way we do everything, and how we can actually shift those thoughts and habits into what we really want. And we will touch on gratitude and how we can live a more grateful life, because that is key in all of this, is shifting the habits, but then we need to replace it with something, or another bad habit will just take over. So motherhood is such an incredibly beautiful thing, as we know. If you don't feel it yet, you will. When we focus on what we want and how we want it to feel, so much will shift in that process. So like I said, I'm giving you a free call. So please take me up on this offer, not for me, for you. Because like I said, it was a workshop that I attended with the person who now, a friend, who is now my coach, and it snowballed into what I am doing today. So if I did not attend that workshop and actually get on the phone with her, I would not be here today. I don't even know where I'd be, but it probably wouldn't be anything positive. I'd probably be stuck at my job that I did not love, right? So this could be that stepping stone that you need in order to get you started onto that next path. Okay? Because this is what it was for me. And it changed my entire freaking life. I would love to get to know you better, because that is ultimately why I'm doing this work, is to understand who you are, how I can serve you, and to see how this can all come together and bring you the beautiful gifts that this motherhood journey is meant to give you. I want to thank you for joining our workshop today, because this was incredible. I know there are so many people that are meant to hear what I have to say. And the fact that we get to shift our mindset, and that is going to give us the power to transform on this journey that we're on, is unbelievable. The fact that we have access to this material, but like nobody knows about it because we're not taught it. So I'm wishing you so much love and light on this beautiful path towards freedom, because that is why we are here. And I know I'm over a few minutes, but I want to just jump into a few questions that came in. Like, feel free if you have any questions over on Instagram or Facebook or on live, that we will answer those quick. And if I don't get to it on here, I will get to it whether it's a DM or in a comment. Okay. So I had one question. How can I do, or what can I do today to help shift my thinking? So this is a brilliant question. So honestly, what you can do is be aware of the thoughts that are coming in. So be aware of the negative ones. You will hear them because they are loud. And this is your paradigm talking, because your paradigm always comes in loud. It wants to keep you stuck in this place. Even though that's not what we are desiring, it is easy and it feels comfortable to keep us stuck in this place. So how you can shift your thinking today is by every time. So I actually had, he was on, our coach, he had us put an elastic on our wristband. And honestly, try this because it is powerful in the sense that it is, you're thinking the thought and then you're actually like doing an action. So if you have a hair elastic, I don't have one down here, put a hair elastic, a regular elastic, whatever you have on your wrist. And every single time you have a negative thought that comes in, I want you to take that elastic and snap it on your wrist. And this sounds crazy because we thought the same thing when our coach brought this to us, but it actually worked because it made you aware of all the times that this thought could come in. So anytime there was a negative thought or a limiting belief or something that came in, we would be snapping this on our wrist. So that is how you can start changing your thinking today, because you're becoming aware of it. And then as you're doing this, you now think like, so take that negative thought. So let's say it's, I'm a horrible mom, and you snap your elastic and you get to shift it into, nope. Like, so catch yourself. And then you catch yourself and be like, nope, I am an incredible mom. So flip it, even though you're like, this is bullshit. I don't believe it at all. I'm not this, whatever. Just keep saying it. Keep saying it, because that is what is going to help shift that thought from this, which is very low energy, very heavy, to I'm an incredible mom. Like, just saying that makes you think of all the times that you're an incredible mom. But you sitting in this I'm a horrible mom makes you think of all the times that you're like, oh my God, I yelled at my kids and I did this and I spanked them for doing, like, it makes you think of all of those times. But if you say I'm an incredible mom, right? Okay, another question. Will I feel like this forever? No, you will not. You will not feel like this forever. Excuse me. You will not feel like this forever. But I will say, there is something I need to say here, because this is obviously telling me that, excuse me. I will say, if you don't take any kind of action, if I were to talk to you now and then talk to you again from a year from now, you may still be in the same place. So it's not forever, but if you take no action, you will still feel the same. Because I know if I did not jump into that 6-month course with my coach that I took and drastically changed my mindset, that if I was to have another call with her 6 months later, I still would have been in the same place, or I would have been in a worse place than I was. So I am so freaking grateful that I said yes. And I didn't wait 6 months to then be like, oh, I'm still in the same place I was 6 months ago, right? So all I'm saying is take the slightest action that you need. If it's reaching out to me, or if it's watching this workshop again to really dive into what it is that you want to prioritize on, self-care, like figure out what it is for you. What is the priority that you want? Like, what is going to make you feel like you're able to kind of crawl out of this hole? And our last question was, it's not showing me. Oh, there it is. How can I be a more present mom? That is an incredible question because we are all seeking this in some way, shape, or form, right? Depending on the different levels of awareness that you're at, we are all looking for to be a more present mom. Like, how can we spend more time with our kids? I will 100% say, because this best friend that I met doing this work has this type of course and it is a digital detox, I will 100% say, put down your phone. If you want to be a more present mom, put down your phone. What you're scrolling, I know this because I am speaking from experience. I was seeking a feeling or something outside of myself by scrolling Instagram or scrolling through Facebook, because I truly believed that if I was to find something motivational or inspiring on Instagram or Facebook, that it was going to motivate me and inspire me to get myself out of this shitty feeling that I was in, this depressed state that I was in. But it's ridiculous that we even have these thoughts or beliefs because they are not true. Everything that I was seeking, I was not going to find behind a screen. And as I'm saying this, find time outside of maybe time that you have blocked off to spend time with your child or children to watch this recording, if you are jumping in and watching the recording, right? We're not meant to, trust me, I tried growing a business while sitting on the floor playing with my child. That was not serving him, nor was it serving me or my business, because I know that my business didn't grow because I was not fully present in that, or I wasn't fully present in being a mom. I wasn't fully present. It was just kind of had bits and pieces all over and wasn't fully present in anything that I did. So it wasn't until I put down the phone and actually played with my child, or they were nagging me to go for a walk. And in the moment, I was like, I don't want to go outside. But I knew this was a habit that I was starting to adopt, is I do everything I say I'm going to do. And I know that going outside is going to make me feel better. And I would actually go outside in my bare feet and ground to the earth first. And apply my essential oils because I know that was always helpful for me. And take my vitamins. These are the like little self-care things that I did. And they were small. On the days that I could barely get out of bed, these were the things that I would do. As simple as taking one of my favorite oils and applying it to my wrist and breathing it in. And that was able to shift me out of this thinking that I'm a horrible person, that I hated my life. My husband was not happy with anything that I was doing. I did not like him most days because I was stuck in that place. So if you are in this place, please reach out. Okay? That is all. Thank you so much for being here. These are incredible questions. If you have any more questions, please reply, comment. If you don't want it to be public, send me a message. I will definitely get back to you. And I can't wait to book a call and for us to chat, because that is honestly where the magic happens. Okay, so it is free. Normally I charge for these, but it is free. Okay, so book a call. You will find the link. I will put the link when I'm done doing the lives, and book it. And I can't wait to chat with you. Okay? Have a wonderful day. You are not alone, Mama. You have so many people around you. Okay? Take care.